The second part of the intro unit has to do with the 5 themes of geography. So what are the 5 themes of geography? Location, place, human environment interaction, movement, and region. We're going to take a look at 2 different types of location. There are 2 different things when you describe place. We'll look at how people and their environment interact with each other, how people, places, or people, goods, and ideas move from place to place, and then we'll look at several different types of region. So the theme of location is going to answer this question, where is it? And we talk about 2 types, absolute location, which is an exact location. It could be latitude or longitude, or it could be your exact street address. And then we talk about relative location. So you're going to describe a place using another place. It may be a landmark, time, direction, or distance. Relative location is generally how people give directions. Moving on to place. Place answers the question, what does it look like there? And you can describe a place using its physical characteristics. So landforms, bodies of water. You can also describe the ecosystem there. What types of plants, animals, what's the climate like there? What are the features that makes this place different from another place? And then you also look at human characteristics, things like bridges, roads. You could look at different aspects of culture, their language, how they dress. You might look at how many people live there, what types of work they do. All of those human things that make one place different from another place. So here's just a quick review of these first 2 themes. So you've got location, absolute and relative, and you have place, can be described as physical or human. Moving on to human environment interaction. The human environment interaction is going to answer these types of questions. How do people adapt to the environment? How do people depend on the environment? Or how do they change the environment? When you're looking at human environment interaction, there are 2 choices. People either have to change the environment or they have to adapt to it. Movement, looking at how people, goods, and ideas are moved from one place to another. And then finally, we have region. There are different types of regions, starting first with a physical region. So the United States is a physical region. We are separate from Mexico and Canada. Some of it is a geographic boundaries. Some of it may be the political boundaries. So if you're looking at how we're separated from Canada, the Great Lakes here is a physical, a geographic divider between the United States and Canada. Most of this line is going to be a political boundary. Same thing down here with Mexico. You have the Rio Grande River that separates part of the United States and Mexico, but then you also have a political boundary there as well. Climate is a type of region, so you might be looking at the polar regions of Earth as a region. Maybe you're looking at all of the tropical areas. Culture is a big one as well. This map up here shows you regions divided based on language. So you can see that you've got these countries here that speak Spanish. You've got this one here that speaks Portuguese. You might look at religion. This is showing you all of the Roman Catholic population. You've got local religions down here. So, you can pick one aspect of culture and have that be your region, those things that group people together. Political regions, there can be a couple of different things that we look at. I talked about before when we were looking at the United States and Canada there on that map. You had part of it being a physical region, that physical barrier, and then the majority of it being a political boundary. So those political lines divide places up. Um, you can also look at different forms of government. So whether or not you might look at all of the democratic um, systems of government. And those a lot of times will overlap with an economic region. So if you're looking at governments that have a democratic form of government, a lot of times you'll also have a capitalist economic system. So some things about region, they have to share at least one characteristic. Regional boundaries can definitely change over time. Regions tend to be interrelated and can overlap, like I was talking about with government and economics, and they're not homogeneous. It doesn't mean that everybody in that region is exactly the same. So, think about those cultural regions. If you're looking at those cultural regions, if you're looking at religion, that doesn't mean that every single person in that region shares that same religion. It's a majority. And here's just a review of regions, and that is it for the 5 themes.